Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pucking Around Podcast, episode 105. Guys, we did it. This season is practically over. I think we got like one or two days of games left, but pretty much all the playoff teams are decided. Still some matchups to sort out in the West, but at least the East is done. We know who's playing who in the playoffs, and we got a retirement. Jonathan Quick has announced this was his last season, and he's officially calling it quits. So we'll touch a little bit on that also. And here to help
tonight's game is his last game.
Yes, tonight is his last game. Excuse me, but he's done. And to help me out, we have to my left, Alex Rened. What's up, buddy?
Eric, it feels good to finally get that 600-pound gorilla off our backs after 6 years. I'll tell you that.
Damn right it does. And below Alex, we have Rick Seligman. What's up, Rick?
Not much. We clinched a few days ago, so good though that you had one game where you didn't have to worry about. You still won, of course, but it's good that you clinched one game. They get to rest a few players and all that.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Phantoms beat the Montreal Canadiens last night 4-2. In case everybody was wondering,
pretty much.
And to Rick's right, we have Matt Naughton. What's up, Matt?
What's up?
All right, boys. So, you know what? Let's get this out of the way. Jonathan Quick finally is calling it a career. Two-time Stanley Cup winner with the LA Kings. That's if anyone can see that's his hockey DB. He's played a bunch of seasons. I'm not gonna start counting. That's a lot. So he's calling it a career. And thoughts, guys? Your thoughts on Jonathan Quick?
Let me start out by saying he played 829 games. He had a 251 goals against and a 910 save percentage over a long period of time. That's pretty awesome. 410 wins, 307 losses, 90 overtime or shootout losses.
Yeah, no, those are actually really good numbers. I honestly didn't even think they were that high, but good for him. So
to go that many years and you still have a 910 save percentage at the end, that's pretty good.
Because there was a few years there, like towards the end of his time in LA, he was kind of struggling. So to keep them up that high is like holy hell.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, thoughts on Quick's retirement?
Well, listen, he's going to absolutely get his number retired by the LA Kings whenever they seem fit. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's I think at least he's won the Vezina, twice? Remember correctly?
And the Cup twice, so yeah.
I think he's won it twice. He's a two-time Stanley Cup champion. Over 400 wins. Not many goalies can say that. As you just mentioned, Rick, over 910 save percentage. What was he in the league for about 21 years, something like that?
Seems like the list looks like it's that long. Yeah,
he had a lengthy career. I completely forgot he played his college hockey at UMass Amherst too. That's pretty cool to see. He was a UMass NCAA guy here. But listen, one of the better goalies of my lifetime. And I witnessed what he did with that Kings team in 11-12. I remember, I think they were near the bottom of the entire league in goals scored, and that Kings goaltending and defense practically carried them through the playoffs as an 8 seed before knocking the Devils out in 6. Like that's impressive. Like you hoisted the cup twice. He's got an incredible resume. He's for sure a future Hall of Famer. Happy for him. Hell of a career for Jonathan Quick. Nothing but class for that guy from day one he was in the NHL. I never had an issue with him as a player or as a person. So good on him, and I hope he enjoys his retirement for sure.
I've had issues with him as a player. He always plays well against Montreal.
There it is.
That's the issue I have with him. But yeah, I mean, you're right. He's been a classy goalie, great goalie. And that year, by the way, they were the 8th seed in the West, but I think they were the 16th seed overall. Like they were the bottom team going in. And they won the cup. So like that was an incredible season. I'm sure a lot of it due to his goaltending.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but I'm happy to see him retire because even as an older goalie, he still freaking kills us most nights. Not all the time, but most of the time. And so yeah, but I mean, great career and classy guy
For sure.
Matt, anything on Quick?
Yeah, I think storied NHL career. Obviously, the 3 Stanley Cups. Obviously 2 with the Kings. He's a big part of that. Really fun goaltender to watch. Especially growing up when he was in his prime, and I wish him the best. But obviously one of the great goalies, especially in his prime that we've seen for sure.
Yeah, he'll be a Hall of Famer for sure.
He seems like
Absolutely.
the type that would get into media afterwards too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that.
I just want to clarify one thing. Jonathan Quick never won a Vezina.
Really?
I know.
That's a little shocking. But you got to think about. Okay, in his prime though, who else was in their prime? You got to think about that. Lundqvist,
Price,
Carey Price, Marc-Andre Fleury.
No, because I was looking at just quickly. Sorry, I was looking at his numbers.
When those 3 guys are in their prime, when you're in their prime, it's kind of hard to win a Vezina. Not gonna lie.
Like I was looking at his numbers for the 11-12 season, like the year that they won their first cup, and like he had a 1.95 goals against average, a 928 save percentage. He won the cup. He won the Conn Smythe that year. I'm like, come on, how the hell did he not win the Vezina that year? Henrik Lundqvist won it.
Yeah.
He had a 930 save percentage and a 1.97 goals against, just slightly better.
But ask him.
He said it himself. No, Marty Brodeur was in during that time. And Braden Holtby was another good goalie that was hanging around.
Ask him if he'd rather a Vezina or a Stanley Cup. And he'd take the cup anytime. So he won the biggest prize. That's the main thing. I'm
sure. But yeah, no, kind of surprised. I'm sure I thought too, like he must have had at least one Vezina, but no, none. The Jennings twice, but no, only one and one Conn Smythe. So, all right, well, yeah. So like, look, honestly, really good career for Jonathan Quick. It was like the backbone of those LA teams there. So, like, we're happy for the guy. Great career. Stayed a little longer there as a backup, so good for him. You know what? But you know what? Good, nice career. All right, so the Eastern Conference playoffs are pretty much set. So we have
I'm gonna load it
right here. So we're gonna have let's go start with Carolina. The Carolina Hurricanes, who have the most points in the East, they will play the Ottawa Senators, the second wildcard team. So Ottawa swings into the Metro. Then you have the Buffalo Sabres, first place in the Atlantic, 108 points. They'll be playing the Boston Bruins, the second wild card. Then you have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens. Now I think that's gonna be a slugfest. And then you have the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Can I say something? You just said Bruins were second wild card. I did this.
First wild card.
Yeah, because I did this just like an hour ago, and they're the first wild card.
Yeah. So sorry. Yeah. So Pittsburgh and Philadelphia finish off the East. That's gonna be a great series. Can't wait for that one.
That one's got the most animosity out of the 4. That's for sure.
Tampa Montreal could be interesting.
Montreal.
I think Tampa Montreal's the second.
Montreal Tampa is going to be physical and nasty, I think, too.
Oh yeah, I can see that one getting spicy.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we want to start?
Why don't we start with Buffalo and Boston? To be honest with you, it's Buffalo's first time in the playoffs since Obama's first term, and the Bruins getting back there after a year off. One of the surprises in the NHL this year. I honestly think that has the makings of Boston actually winning that. I think it's going to be a competitive series, but I think out of the 4 series, that is the one I could see the most likely to be an upset. Not because I think the Bruins have a more talented team than the Sabres, But I think it's more the fact that Buffalo's meek. Like, it's a rookie team. It's a team that doesn't have much experience or any real experience in the playoffs right now. So with that being said, I could definitely see Boston give them a run for their money. If I had to pick, I would maybe lean Sabres in 7, but I think that could really go either way.
Can I go next?
Go for it, Rick.
All right. I agree with Alex and think that Boston could actually win that because of Buffalo's really inexperience. The only thing that might upset that is their coach, Lindy Ruff, got a ton of experience. I'm hoping that Boston does win that series, that we win ours, and we get another Boston-Montreal for the division. That would be amazing.
That would be a fantastic
interesting as well.
series.
So yeah, that's what I got.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I think we got joined by a guest.
Yeah, we did. I should have gone there first, but yeah. Sorry, Jamey.
Yeah, you're all good, man. Aloha mahalo, everyone.
So I'm going to introduce him.
Flyers.
Jamey Basco from Flyers Nitty Gritty. Welcome in, Jamey.
Hey, good morning. 9% shot to make the playoffs, Flyer.
Yeah. Listen, you guys got to be really happy. I mean, there's no doubt, right?
Hey, I came
Happy and relieved.
I just want to let everybody know the Flyer podcast nailed the Sabres making the playoffs, by the way. We said it back in November.
We did.
Nice.
We did.
So I go Boston in 6.
I might have had. No, I think that's a good call, though. I do. I think that's a good call.
That's why I had Pittsburgh also beating the Flyers as well. Sorry to hate on
Jamie, what are you talking about? We only have a 9% chance of getting in.
I go with the experience, man. I'm sorry. I actually think Montreal is going to win too.
You know what I'm going to say about Pittsburgh and Philadelphia?
What?
If Michkov and Martone play like they did last night in the offensive zone,
yeah,
you guys are going to be dangerous.
Well, I think the Flyers would be that more dangerous if Michkov had second-line minutes. I'm sick and tired of seeing him as a third-line checker.
Yeah, I got to agree with that.
I can't believe the guy put up 51 points as a third-line checker because that's what he is. A third line is a checking line. There's roles in hockey. We discussed this. We talk about this a lot, on our podcast. And regardless of what people think, the Flyers don't implement that way. No, that's what it is. A third line is a checking role in the sport of hockey.
It's changing, though, Jamie. I mean, I've read about this, and it is changing. Some teams are going with 3 basic scoring lines, and it's the 4th line that's becoming the checking line, energy line, and all that, yeah.
I don't see it that way because the 4th line is an energy line. Are they potting goals here?
No, I'm just saying. I've read about this. I
not ours.
That's what I mean. They're not scoring at a rate as a third line checking role. So until it changes all the way, he is what he is. He's a third line checker.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I have to admit,
right now until I think that'll change next year. They'll probably move out one of their wingers because of just to try to get some center help, and pretty much addition by subtraction that Briere will force Talkin to move him into the top 6. Just like he forced him to move into the right wing. So.
Yeah, essentially he took Brink's spot. Alex, I think you called that. Before the trade deadline, that he would take that role, and he did. What was Bobby Brink? A third line checker. I was talking to people about this earlier, respectfully, not disrespectfully, because everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I was like, okay, so what was Bobby Brink? And they're like, checker. I said, so what's Michkov? Because he took Brink's spot with alongside Noah Cates, right?
Can I give you a theory maybe that might be? Is it possible Talkin's trying to teach him a little bit of how to play outside of the the offensive zone?
Bang. You're absolutely right, because a third line checking role is for defensive stability and physical play.
And that's what he's kind of missing right now in his game.
Right.
And I think he's just trying to get that mindset
right
there for him.
This isn't hate on Tocchet because these are the hand that he's forced right now. He's got Porter Martone, who's hot, right? And stuff. So it's not that he did something, or he's doing something wrong. He's putting Mitchkoff the spot that he should be at, which is a third line checking role, because he can't get into the top 6 right now.
Yeah.
Well, he plays like last night. Jeez, he was good last night.
Yeah.
The kids that they did have out there looked good last night. But this series went Pittsburgh and Philly. I really think it's going to come down to goaltending. If I go position by position, it's blatantly obvious Pittsburgh has the advantage at center. I think wingers are close. You could go either way, but Pittsburgh's wingers have put up more offensive stats. But I think Philly's wingers play a little more of a two-way game, and they have much higher potential as a collective whole. D-cores, I think that's a lean Philly. And net, that's for sure Philly. So it's really going to come if it is going to be a high-scoring series, it probably favors Pittsburgh. They were a top 10 power play. I think they were like third in the league in goals scored. But if this is going to be a series that is going to be like a 2-1, 3-2 grind fest, that could be favoring Philly, where who do you trust to get to save more, Stuart Skinner or Dan Vladar? My money's on Dan Vladar 10 times out of 10 right now.
Yeah.
He was a top 10 goalie this year.
Yeah.
Argue with a wall. He was fantastic. Take him off the team, they're at least 15 points worse than what they are right now.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. They don't make the playoffs without Vladar.
100% right.
I want to reiterate that again. Eric called that before the season began, that was one of the best pickups for Philadelphia, this basketball season. He nailed that with flying colors there. I mean, he was top 3 in the league. If it's not for Vasilevsky, my money is on Dan Vladar to win the Vezina.
It'll probably be Vasilevsky, unfortunately.
Actually, I don't know. Like I right before we started recording, I was checking something quick, and I'll have to read the article maybe later. But I don't know if this is true or not. But I think it was BSH that was reporting that apparently he's getting some consideration even for the Hart. Like obviously he's not going to get like first or second place votes, but he could maybe get some third, fourth, fifth place votes, because if you honestly think about it, right? MVP, right? Most valuable player, but it's most valuable player to your team.
To your team. That's what it's supposed to be. That's exactly right.
And you know what? Without Vladar, man, there's a good chance we're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, he should get some consideration, I would think.
So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he gets like a fifth, maybe like a fifth, fourth place vote. But
yeah.
Oh yeah. So, but look, when it comes, I think Alex nailed it with special teams. I think is going to be a major factor in the Philly-Pittsburgh series. Is going to come down to special teams.
Pittsburgh special teams is way better than us on both ends.
Oh yeah,
they're 7th, I think, in both.
Yeah,
they're
7th
power play and PK.
You know what Philly has now for the power play? Porter Martone.
Even with Porter Martin. Now, granted, yes, obviously he's been playing a lot better. He's scored a few points on the power play, but somehow we're still fucking 32nd.
Our power play has been better of late, though. They're 25% over their last 7 or so games. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that momentum up. I'm going to keep my series prediction to myself for Flyera, but it should be a good series. I think Rick is the only one that should predict it. Rick, what do you have in Pittsburgh, Philly?
Oh, you're putting me on the damn spot. My God.
I got it. I'm not going to hold it against you.
Go Montreal.
I think goaltending is going to be a big thing here. So I'm going to give it to Philadelphia, 7 games.
Wow.
Because I think you guys have – I'm telling you, if you guys play – and you were playing with depth last night. 9 guys sitting, and they played – I mean, that was a good team last night. If they can bring that into the playoffs with the regulars in the lineup and Vladar plays well, I don't really like putting my money on Skinner, to be honest with you, so I'm going to go with you guys.
Yeah, it'll be a good series for sure.
I take the underdog here, yeah.
How about the Carolina-Ottawa series, too? That's another series, I think, that people, I think, are overvaluing. Not that they're looking past Ottawa, but they're thinking that this is going to be a bloodbath by Carolina. And honestly, I'm listening to what Eric said. Yeah, Eric was right about one thing. Is this Ottawa team is a lot better than people give them credit for. They got a lot of talent there. The main question is, can they at least get average goaltending in the playoffs? Because if they do, they're going to give Carolina a run for their money.
Well, actually, that series, I'll just spoiler alert now, but like that's my upset series. I'm taking Ottawa over. I think Ottawa upsets Carolina in 7. It's just there's so much firepower on that Ottawa team, and like if their defense is healthy with Shabbat and Sanderson and everything, like they got a defense that could hold up just as well as Carolina's defense. The biggest issue is honestly goaltending. Like look, Bussy's played amazing for Carolina all year, but he's inexperienced.
He's a rookie.
Yeah. At the end of the day, he's very inexperienced.
There's questions on both sides, and so
and look, Allmark's played a lot better of late. It's a couple years now. It's a couple years in a row he does this, where like he starts off really terribly the first half of the season, and then just all of a sudden takes off second half.
Oh yeah.
So like that's the one series I smell upset there. I smell it. It's happening. It's happening.
Man.
The East is so tight this year. Like, it isn't like the West where it's legitimately top 3 teams heavy. Like, you could make an argument for any team. Honestly, the only team, and I'm not even trying to clown on this one particular team, but the only team I think that has no real shot of making a long run because of their goaltending is Pittsburgh. Like, I'm not like they have the offensive talent, but you need to have some level of legit goaltending. Unless if Stuart Skinner turns into what he is against Dallas all the time, I don't know. I don't know on them. That's the thing. They have the scoring talent. I'll give them that. But I don't know if you're going to get what you can get from Stuart Skinner. It's such a big question mark in net.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I like Ottawa as well. Actually, I think that Carolina's running into a juggernaut. The one thing that Eric just brought up, their defense is phenomenal. They don't give. You got to earn your stripes against them. Like they don't give you ice at all, at all. They suffocate. They stick you. It's like man to man in football. It's kind of weird on what they do. They stand people up at the blue line, and like Eric said. And I want to point this out as well. They've been hurt. Now they're healthy at the right time. And you start seeing them click. And now they got Shabbat back. That's a hell of a that's a great addition to a lineup. I don't care what anybody says. Shabbat's phenomenal. He's a really good hockey player. And now they got him back. What they would perceive as healthy. That's a dangerous club. Linus Ullmark is playing like top level, like a few years ago, Ullmark, when I was like, oh, okay, cool. I want the Flyers to make a run for Ullmark. Mm-hmm. That's the way he's playing now. So he seemed to be found his game again from years ago. You know what I mean? And I that's a deadly club, man. That I wouldn't want to play. There's 2 teams I wouldn't want to play. It's Philly and Ottawa because both are so red hot right now. And I think this break hurts Philly a little bit. I don't like the layoff. You know what I mean?
A week.
They're on fire right now, and now you got 4 days off. I hate to say this, but I probably would have played people Tuesday night just because of that. I understand why they didn't, but due to ramifications and stuff. But I don't like the layoff. I've never been a fan of that. I've never been in football. Like the Eagles this past year, sitting their players. And stuff, before. And look what happened. They were first round and out. I just think lose all gas. That's, the Flyers run was sort of like Claude Giroux-esque from years ago, right? And Claude Giroux is to Ottawa, and he does this every single year to where they make the playoffs, and they're a tough out, What they lose in 6 last year? Wasn't it? They didn't,
Ottawa, yeah.
They didn't roll over by any means.
They went down 3-0 and they started fighting back, got it to 3-2.
You know what I mean? Like they didn't this is a scrappy Ottawa club. If I'm Carolina, man, I'm telling you, with that rookie netminder back there who had a good year, don't get me wrong.
Bluesky?
Yeah.
Ben Bluesky.
And now I'm like, okay, I'll take the vet in that series. So I'm going to go Ottawa in 6.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it as long as that's the thing. Ottawa just needs to get legit goaltending. That's what it comes out. They have the talent to keep up with Carolina blow for blow, I think. And as you mentioned, Jamie, their decor is very good. It's so banged up still. Like, they got Jake Sanderson back, who's one of the better defensemen in the entire Eastern Conference. And then you're adding Shabbat back, who, mind you, is not 100%. Even though he's back, you don't heal from a broken bone completely in less than 3 weeks. No question about it.
Yeah.
So he's back, probably at 75, 80%, which is still good. And they still have a legit T core, and they got some talent there. Tim Stutzel's one of the best young forwards in the East. Brady Tkachuk is a friggin' power forward scoring machine. You got the veteran leadership of Claude Giroux there. Oh, man, Ottawa filling the
Don't start.
My heart would be broken.
Oh, my God. He's going to start about Claude Giroux.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I'd have to face my captain again in the second round.
Second best
No,
player.
in all seriousness.
He's the second best player to ever play in this organization. He deserves more clout than what he gets. I'm tired of the hate that he gets online, on the app. This is, Twitter. Twitter's a funny app, but the guy is a phenomenal hockey player, and I'm rightful to say he's the second best player to ever lace his skates up. Hell of a player, class act. His family's top notch. They treat everybody with respect.
He's talking about Giroux is the second best player ever to lace up skates
for the Flyers. Yes.
Oh, for the Flyers. Okay, I'm glad you. Yeah, okay.
He's better than every Montreal player that ever came forward.
Oh, there we go. That's the clarification we needed.
And he says it with a straight face too.
Cole has nothing on Giroux. For 7 million goals, I don't give a darn.
Yes, you do, Jamie. Yes, you do. So you couldn't even say it with a straight face.
Yeah. Because it's
Jamie deep down going, fucking Chuck, goddamn butcher! Bitch!
Hey, man, if we had Cole Caulfield, imagine our power play today. Caulfield, Martoon, Zegras, and Mitchkov. Holy
That's
hell.
terrifying. That's terrifying.
I'm serious about that, Alex. I see you shaking your head because that's crazy.
That's terrifying. It's just so what could have been if Chuck Fletcher wasn't incompetent.
They would finish with like a 97% success rate.
97, 100.
If that were true,
All
that's
right.
where we'd be getting.
Let's move on to Montreal now that we're on the topic. Then Montreal and Tampa. I think this one is going to go honestly, I think all 4 series are going to go the minimum of 6. I don't think any of these 4 series is going to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to go 7. Ours. I think it's 7.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be a dogfight. I do, and if that last Thursday was any type of preview, I mean it's gonna be a dogfight. It's gonna be physical. I mean it's gonna be a fun series to watch. Might end up being the best series of the first round.
The disrespect.
You know what I mean? Like looking just in terms of just pure playoff hockey. I think it's gonna be phenomenal.
And when
Montreal is getting in this series is shocking to me because I looked at the odds online.
I saw that too. I was kind of taken aback.
Minus 280. That's way too high. I think Tampa should be a favorite, but not 280. Maybe 160 or 170. I could hear that. 280? That's absurd. Yeah, they're not giving Montreal enough credit. That team's got a ridiculous forward core. I understand Montreal is still a younger team, but they were there last year, and I can understand the concerns potentially with the consistency in net. But
I mean, the Canadians also have a 50-goal scorer, 100-point player, 80-point
Montreal's got
defenseman.
talent.
Yeah, as Jamie was saying, he thought Philadelphia was the team he wouldn't want to play against. I think Montreal's the team you don't want to play against in the playoffs, personally. It remains to be seen, though, because our 2 rookie goalies and stuff like that. But I think once the games get started, they're going to prove that they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, they will be.
With Tampa, I want I don't know if it announced yet. I want to know what's happening with Hedman. Is he coming back for the playoffs? Is he going to be back for one.
All I've ever heard so far is that it's personal family or personal reasons, and that's it. They don't really say what it is.
I
heard
hope
it,
whatever's ailing him is okay. That's you
I heard
only
so-
can miss the
yeah.
best in that situation.
I heard he was taking a leave of absence, but then after but then I think at one point they announced an injury. So I don't know.
I think it's family, something with his family.
So Eric, I had him in fantasy. He was hurt before the family situation.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. How did you have him? I had him too at some point. You must have picked him up after me.
I cut him because of that. I cut him when he sustained that injury. I got rid of him right away, and because I was like I needed a healthy body who I was playing, so I cut him, and you may have picked him up, but he did come back for a game at that injury, and then just left. Like he didn't even play the whole game. It was like he came back for a period and he was out.
Yeah, so honestly, because if they don't have Hedman, that's a big loss for them.
Oh, for sure.
I thought he came back too soon, and then like the next day it came out he was on LT. They placed him on LTIR due to family reasons.
Yeah, it's a personal reason. So
another thing I like about Montreal's chances, we played them 2 times in the last little bit. We beat them both times. It was basically playoff situation for Montreal, if not for them, but we were basically playing playoff hockey, and we beat them.
Yeah,
and we were okay. I don't think the Habs are like afraid of this team. I think they're going in with confidence, and I really like our chances.
Well, I'm sure they're not like why would it? But for me, what it comes down to is experience versus inexperience. Because look, Montreal's beat them like the last couple of times, but when you're actually in the playoffs, when it actually comes to like buckle down, let's go, like no tomorrow.
Yep.
Like that's where Tampa thrives.
That's where they're a known quantity, but Montreal's unknown. So going in, and that's why I say going in, they're just whatever, and we'll have to see how they play, and we'll find out. But I think the chances are they're going to do fine. And maybe they don't. I don't know. But either way, great experience going forward, just like it is for your team.
Oh, 100%. Sure. A lot of the young guys are going to get some very valuable. Well, some did last year. Some more will get this year. And it's going to be a learning experience. And we'll see what happens. Personally, I think Tampa still comes out on top. Like Matt was saying, you got a 50-goal scorer and a 100-point player. Well, like, Tampa has the possible Hart winner, possible Vezina winner, possible.
I'm just saying, like the Canadians also aren't a team that you can just write right off. I mean,
that series is minimum going 6. I even said it. There's no way that goes any shorter than 6.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a real physical series. And I thought, like I said, going back to last Thursday's game, I thought the Canadians really showed that they're not afraid of that. Like they really acted as more the aggressor in that game too. Like again, it's kind of a warm up to the series, and they weren't going to be pushed around. Like they weren't afraid of Lightning. So.
I will say this about Montreal: if they do get past Tampa, they're going to get to the minimum of the Eastern Conference Finals because they will. I think they steamroll either of Boston or Buffalo. If you ask me, if they get past Tampa. Because that'll be a battle-tested team that if they play either Buffalo or Boston the second round, they're going to beat either one of them in 5. If they get past Tampa. But Tampa's the one team out of the 3 that they got, I probably would not have picked them against. I think it's going to be a good series. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to pick Tampa in 6, but it's going to be a hard-fought 6. It's not going to be like they're going to get blown out every game. Like there's going to be a game maybe they lose in overtime. There'll be another game they might lose by a goal. They'll win one game by 2. They might lose another game by 2. They're going to be a lot of close games in this series. Both teams are going to be beaten up from this. If Montreal drew Buffalo or Boston, I would have picked the Habs. But this is the one team I feel like that just because of the experience and them having the Vezina winner and having the major advantage in net, because we've seen it so often, a hot goalie can carry you far in the playoffs. You're going to need to maybe not match, but get something somewhat close to the production of Vasilevsky in net, I think, if you're going to win this series. I don't expect him to outplay Vass, but if you can get Dobes, hypothetically, Dobes to get 80% of Vasilevsky or 85% of him, I give Montreal a much better chance. That's where it comes down to, is the consistency in net. Because I think the forward cores, I think Montreal is actually a little bit deeper than Tampa. I think Tampa's got a little bit higher star power, not much, but a little bit higher, like Kucherov versus Suzuki. I'm going to take Kucherov, obviously, but it's not a massive gap. Caulfield versus Braden Point. I'd probably take Caulfield, but it's close.
Right.
But then
I think you're right.
That's where they're like, I think Tampa's a little bit deeper there, even without. I mean, Hudson's the best defenseman in this series, but then with Dobson hurt for you guys, that leaves a big question. That's a big loss. Yeah. So, I mean, they still got McDonough there. He's one of the better veteran defensemen in the league.
And Darren Raddick. No, let's not
this
guy out of nowhere. Darren fucking Raddick, 70 points on the season.
He's having a breakout year. He's having. So Tampa's got some guns on defense too. So if I had to put it like high-end forward talent, it's like this Tampa, but very close. Depth, I go Montreal. Defense, again, like this Tampa. Net, like this Tampa. You needed to get like this Tampa for me to think Montreal could win this series. You need Dobich to be consistent. That's my take.
I got the Habs in 7. I think, honestly, this is going to be the lowest scoring series out of all the series out of the East.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I do.
Honestly, I can kind of see that, because I think, Alex, to your point on goaltending, I also think you can argue Jacob Dobich has been the hottest goaltender these last 2 weeks.
He's hot and cold. When he's hot, he's hot. Yeah, that's what I mean. You need Dobich to be like that in this series.
Consistency.
Well, but when Dobich is cold, it's just one game. He bounces back.
Vasilevsky is.
Yeah, but that's all it could. That's all it could take is that one game.
Okay, but Vasilevsky has bad games too. We beat him a couple of times already.
No, granted, but if we're talking about pure consistency, like
I get it. It's proven and unproven.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good series, because this is not going to go any less than 6.
Anyway, let Jamey finish his thought.
Roll over. They're out of it.
Let Jamey finish his thought. He was talking.
That's all right. No, go ahead. That's fine.
No, that was it.
I just think Vasilevsky's a phenomenal goaltender. I think Dobes is a really good goaltender, you know what I mean, and stuff. And I just think that, both defenses are well. This is one, Martin St. Louis is very familiar with the Tampa Bay organization. He's familiar with John Cooper, obviously for obvious reasons and stuff. I just think that St. Louis is going to get, the one-up on Cooper in this series.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really good coaching matchup, too. I know, obviously, St. Louis is a younger head coach, but, again, I think he's, really evolved a lot from when he first took over, and he was really teaching, to now, really getting these guys in a position to win. I think it's a really good coaching matchup. I agree, Jamey.
Yeah.
So sorry. Go ahead, Jamey. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No. You go. You were first.
No. I'm good. Oh,
okay. I was gonna say another factor that I think people, you guys probably don't even know about is they finally called up Reinbacher last 2 games.
Oh, I knew that. He played last night. Mitch Cobb almost dogged him.
Okay, that is one mistake all game, but he's been really good and steady. And
both games he was
okay. I think he might, and I'm not saying he will, but I think that could be a factor that it's unknown. But if he has a good series, because he's going to start the series because of Dobson being out, that could be a factor, because it would shore up on our right side, a natural right side defenseman that we really need. So if he can play well. And I think he could be a big difference for us against Tampa.
Yeah. Look, I think Carrier should be back by the time playoff.
Right.
I think what a lot, and obviously, yes, Dobson does hurt. He's one, again, another one of just the best defensemen in the league, but obviously our second best defenseman, I think. But I think a lot of people kind of overlook how deep the Habs are on defense, because we still obviously Hudson, Matheson, Goalie, Carrier's coming back, Struble,
Jack Eye.
You know, and then obviously, you know, Reinbacher got called up, but I think Adam Engstrom's someone that's kind of been overlooked.
I think Angstrom might not get any ice.
He might not. I mean, again, he's younger, but again, he's someone that I think has been overlooked a little bit. Like, I think if called upon, I think he'd handle himself just fine. And yeah, obviously, you know, Reinbacher now, who's, you know, he looked solid in honestly both games that he played.
Yep.
Skate really good skater. His skating's gotten a lot better,
and he's got grit.
Yeah, I think the Habs can weather the storm without Dobson. I think that's the point I wanted to make. I just think a lot of people kind of maybe overlook how deep the Habs really are on the back end.
Yep, I agree with that.
Should be a good series. It should. Anything else before we move on to the West, gentlemen?
I think we hit on everything. Did we? Yeah.
More or less.
Let's move on to the West. Give me just load it up. There we go. I think we lost Jamey. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make
His
sure.
kids were active there. His kids were active.
Yeah, I don't know what happened earlier. My stream yard crashed. I don't know what the problem was because I have like hardwired internet. I have an Ethernet cable, so it wasn't an internet problem. It was weird. I don't know if that happened to him or not. I don't know.
No, that happens to Jamey. Is his kids? His kids were being
That's
active. He had to
I
go
had to put them to bed.
Yeah, he probably that's what it had to do.
Thing.
Oh,
All right, let's move on to the West.
The West. Well, the West right now, like we can't really talk about, other than Dallas, Minnesota, which is a set matchup. That's not going to change. Everything else is kind of still wide open. There's still games tonight. Like Vegas could clinch the division tonight with a win. If they lose, then Edmonton can technically take over the division. If they win, Anaheim can fall. We could also possibly get Edmonton again.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
I really hope not.
Oh God, I hope
because
not.
I'm sick of
For the
seeing that
fourth
series.
time in a row.
I really am.
Fifth time. Sorry.
Well, either way, I think whoever, look, I'm just not a fan of LA this year. I think they just
they
got lucky.
whoever's playing Colorado in the first round's getting steamed.
Yeah, they're gonna.
That's
Colorado
probably the
won.
series. That might be a 4-game sweep because
Except for one.
obviously the President's Trophy curse.
Yeah.
And all that, but if they played like LA's getting annihilated in the first
President's
round.
Trophy jinx. President's Trophy jinx.
Yeah, but to LA,
Yeah,
they're going to annihilate. If they play LA, they're going to annihilate LA.
It depends how
And
bad
that
the
will
jinx is.
be 5 at the most. Even then, I think that's a sweep. If it's them.
Depends how strong the jinx is in LA.
The funny thing
The
is,
jinx is strong in them.
Edmonton could end up anywhere still from first in the division to the second wild card. The only spot they cannot get, I believe, is the first wild card.
Yeah, no. While their first wild card is set, it's Utah.
Yeah, so I don't think they can. Yeah, so they're either going to be first, second, third, or the second wild card. That's it. So that's actually crazy to me. So keep an eye on that. The
So many
Ducks
series coming down to the last day like that.
The Ducks can either get second, third, or the second wild card. The Kings could still get as high as second in the division.
Yep.
That's insane.
That's
How
so
much of a
crazy.
mess the Pacific
In
is.
21 regulation wins, I think. It's kind of
22.
cut off on my screen, but something around
22.
there, right? 21, 22?
Pathetic.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Also, a team with 90 points might it might only be 90 points and they're in.
Yep.
That's crazy. 2 teams.
It's
might
ridiculous
have-
because if you look at the East, there's what, 4 teams with like 91 points, 92, somewhere around there, 90 to 93.
93 and
aren't
less.
in.
Islanders, Columbus, Detroit, and Washington have all 91 plus points.
The Cryberry Beat Capital fans that were in my mentions, they would be first in the Pacific and they're out of the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, but we
There
don't
is a
cross over.
chance.
So listen, they don't cross over, so it doesn't. It's a moot point, really.
Yeah, I know.
No, it is, but it's just crazy that like
It's
you
just
know,
crazy how
teams with
bad the
like
West is this
93
year.
points aren't going to make it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I think what Eric just said. It's just crazy how bad they are in the West this year.
Oh yeah.
As a group, except for 3 teams. Like that's the crazy part is how bad they are.
It's
Overall.
funny. You're going to have a division winner in the Vegas Golden Knights potentially with a record of 38-43 right now. Potentially 38-44 could win that division. The Kings could move up to second that division with a record of 46-36. I mean 36-46. I got the two mixed up.
Because this like 46 and 36, not bad.
I was gonna say 36-46. I got it flip-flopped. Sorry. 20 overtime losses. That is the first time in NHL history a team has hit 20 OTLs. That's insane.
Yeah.
The whole Western Conference is OTLs. It's crazy.
And it's one of those years. I wouldn't expect that, this is a thing every year.
No.
Because this is odd. This isn't usual.
Yeah, this is really like Vegas underachieved, Edmonton underachieved. So that's two teams that should have been better. That really like.
And it happens sometimes,
Honestly, I don't think Edmonton underachieved. I think Edmonton is just that paying the price of not having any money to get some secondary scoring, legitimate defense, and goaltending. That's what it is. I think this is Edmonton. They're riding the coattails of their superstar players, and one of them got hurt.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's been the thing with the Oilers. If you take McDavid and Draisaitl off that team, that's probably a 65-point team.
Yeah, probably.
No, 1,000%. I think you're absolutely right. And again, right? I mean, they have some supporting cast that are no slouches. Like I love Nuge. I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Oh yeah, the Nuge is a good player
for them.
Yeah,
obviously, have a Bouchard, but you're right. You take those guys off the team, and it's
what do you have?
It's nothing. Not nothing, but they're not a playoff team. And with who knows how long Draisaitl might be out for? I don't know if if it's Edmonton Anaheim, I don't know if Edmonton wins that series. McDavid can do McDavid things, but I just think Anaheim's deeper. And I just think if you just find a way to even slow him down, I don't see how they get out of the first round without Draisaitl.
What's his situation look like? The last I saw of him, he was eating popcorn up in the friggin' press box a couple of days ago. What's his ETA being back?
Well, when he got hurt, I thought it was just for the regular season that he'd be back in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I heard he's supposed to be back in the first round, but might not be ready for game one. That's the last I heard on him.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That could be the difference.
Cool.
So
I don't know, but I think it depends who Edmonton plays in the first round. That's why the next 2 days are going to be very.
It's going to be the Kings. It's going to be the Kings.
I hope not, man.
It's going to be the Kings.
Because look, if let's say words stay like this, like Anaheim, Edmonton, let's say, Anaheim's been struggling lately. Anaheim has been they're 2-6-2 in their last 10. And they allow goals. So,
have you seen the scores? Rangers are beating Tampa 4-1.
Oh, that hurts my feelings.
I know, doesn't it?
Fuck.
Matvei Michkov said no home series for you.
Yeah, pretty. And Martone, Michkov and Martone.
Michkov and Martone say you get no home ice advantage. You go to sunny Florida and you like it.
Well, I mean, I'm not that upset because the Habs have the second best road record in the league. I think they're 20. What were they?
They were
8 or something on the road. Their road record's insane.
24-8.
Yeah, 24-9-8.
24-9-8. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. But yeah, I knew the Rangers were going to beat Tampa. It just made sense.
Okay, so let's see. All right, so
we can't talk about the series here.
No,
the one
Dallas,
we can
Minnesota.
talk about, Dallas Wild, Dallas,
we got
Minnesota.
one. We can talk about that one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's give it a shot. Dallas, Minnesota. What do we think, boys?
I don't want to start on this one.
I got him. I'm going to pick Dallas. I picked Dallas to win the cup the last 2 years, and my beginning of the year pick was Colorado over Carolina. And funny enough, Jim Binninger actually messaged me a couple days ago asking me what my cup pick was, and I told him that. But I also told him to think about going back to Dallas for the third fucking year. And he goes, "Bro, Stick with your original pick. Don't do that to yourself. I'm going to pick Dallas to win the series. When they inevitably play Colorado, I'll revisit and see if I still feel the same about the Avalanche, because I didn't expect the Avalanche to be the President's Trophy. I have a philosophy is I'm not picking the President's Trophy winner.
Yeah, I agree.
So, shit. I'm going to pick Dallas to win this series. Obviously, Colorado to win theirs. Whoever the fuck they play, they're going to kill whether it's Edmonton, Anaheim, or LA. But, man, if it's Colorado and Dallas again for the third year in a row, because that series has been happening a lot lately too. This is going to be the third consecutive year if they face off round 2 that they play each other. They played last year. I think they played last year in the first round, and they played 2 years ago in the second round. If I remember correctly, Dallas and Colorado, not Dallas, Minnesota.
Oh.
I'm just saying if they were to meet the second round. But this series, I'm going to pick Dallas in 6. But it should be a very good series. I think both teams got a lot of firepower for sure. That Stars team, man, they got especially that forward core is so good. And, they got 2 guys who I'd consider a number 1 defenseman in Thomas Harley and Miro Heiskanen. So just saying that the Stars are damn good. They don't have Peter DeBoer syndrome to hold them back anymore.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I like Dallas also in the series. Not that Minnesota's a pushover team. I just never been a big fan of Minnesota. I just never understand how they just do so well. Like you look at the roster, they got like Kaprizov and Boldy and whatever, but like now they have Quinn Hughes, so I guess it's a little extra plus like Brock Faber or whatever. But no, I think in the end, I think Dallas pulls this one out. It's a shame that one of these 2 teams is going to be out in the first round, especially with the way the fucking Pacific looks. Like it makes no goddamn sense, but whatever. Yeah, no, but I think Dallas's firepower, like eventually, is just going to overcome Minnesota. Like they just have they're too deep. Dallas is way, way, way too deep. But then, we'll see. Like, I think it's gonna be a long series, like you said. I think you said 7, Alex. I'm thinking the same thing. Also, this is going the distance. This is gonna be. I
said 6 actually, but
you said 6. Okay, well, I'm going 7 then. Yeah, no, I think this one's going the distance. I think you got like. It's crazy because I think you have like two of the top 4 defensemen in the league in the series. Like, even though Miro Heiskanen doesn't put up that many points, but he's just so fucking good. And of course, obviously, you have Quinn Hughes, in Minnesota's back end. So it's going to be an interesting one. But I think in the end, Dallas's firepower is just going to be too much for Minnesota.
Yeah. Matt, you go next.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I agree with everything you said, Eric. I think Dallas is far too deep. For not for a team like Minnesota, but just I just feel like they're just more well built, more well rounded. That being said, I can definitely see a lot of overtime in this series. And I think it goes 6 or 7. Because again, I think Minnesota is also a talented team. Again, not as deep, but still a lot of high-end skill guys like Kaprizov, Boldy, Faber, Quinn Hughes, obviously. And again, I think in net, it's a good goalie battle, right? And Jesper Wellstat and Jake Ottner. So I think this is a good, again, like much like Tampa and Montreal in the East. I think this series goes the distance. I think we're going to see a good amount of overtime.
You know what the big issue with Minnesota I have? They didn't do enough to address their hole down the middle. That's the thing with the Wild. Like when they made that big splash for Quinn Hughes, you gave away a top 6 center in Marco Rossi. Did they really do enough to address what they need down the middle to keep up with a team like the Dallas Stars? Like, don't get me wrong.
I do agree with that.
Minnesota's a talented team, but Ropey Hintz is better than any center the Minnesota Wild can even dream to have. This Stars team right now, just in general, is really good. Wyatt Johnson is better than any player that the friggin' Wild have down the middle. Matt Duchene probably, you could even argue, might be. Mind you, Duchesne's been pretty dinged up for most of the year, but you get my point. The Stars down the middle kill the Wild down the middle. That's the big difference, I think, in this series.
No, I agree. And look, I think, I mean, aside from Eriksson Ek, there's none of the other centers for the Wild not jump off the page, but like they're not, I mean, they're just not, I think, the caliber of centers you need really to, like you said, kind of go far in the playoffs. Like, I like Eriksson Ek a lot. I think he's
good two-way center.
Underrated players in the league. But he's not a Wyatt Johnston. He's not a Rupe Hintz. But behind him, I don't think there's enough down the middle.
That's the difference right there. That's the difference. And the Stars are a lot more experienced to another thing to give them.
Let me give you my opinion because I got to go in a few minutes. I wanted to be a contrarian and go with the Wild, and then I listened to you guys, and I think, that down the center, that's going to be a problem. But I'm going to be the contrarian, and I'll be the only one picking the Wild because if they win, I'll look great. And so, I'll take the Wild, but I got to admit, it's what I said. I don't know.
Not a fan of their centers.
No, I think you're right. I mean, they're not as deep down the middle. And listen, honestly, you win, especially in the playoffs. I mean, you win down the middle. So,
It's our big flaw against Pittsburgh in round one. Is they definitely have better centers than we do. There's no real debate there.
No, exactly.
Actually, too, I think in the Habs Lightning series, I actually think it's kind of pretty evenly matched down the middle, to be honest.
Yeah, that's not.
I think the Habs actually have pretty good center depth. Suzuki, Kapanen, Deneau, and Evans. That's not bad.
You got 1C, 2 3Cs, and a 4C, pretty much.
But again, like that's not bad depth down the middle, right? Especially Kapanen's still so young and getting better, and we know Deneau and Evans are defensive specialists. Like I think that the Habs honestly have one of the deeper center cores right now. Again, not after Suzuki, they're not gonna jump off the page, but they're centers that can do their job and they can play NHL center. You know what I mean?
All right,
I gotta take off, guys. I gotta take off. Take care, everybody. See you next week. Have a good
See you next week, Rick.
See you, Rick.
Before we finish things off, just in general on this, we'll talk one thing with the West. Who is everyone's dark horse team in the Western Conference? Looking at that right there.
Oh,
dark horse?
Who's the team you guys feel like could go on a run in the West? Like that people wouldn't expect.
Well, I wouldn't expect, because I want to say Vegas, just because, but then again, like you could kind of expect Vegas to kind of do that, right?
I could listen to that as a dark horse pick this year, just because they've been so underwhelming. They're not even going to win 40 games this year. So,
if I had to pick one dark horse, like for me, it would have to be Vegas, just because. Also now with Torts, the new bump, if they could just get their goal, because they're very similar to Ottawa in the East. Whereas like you look at their metrics, and their metrics aren't that bad. They're pretty good. Their goaltending has sunk them all year. If they could just get some decent goaltending, and now you're going through the Pacific, which like honestly, you look at the Pacific, like who scares you in the Pacific? Especially Edmonton with an injured Draisaitl, who knows? And then, so I don't know. For me, Vegas is that one team that you're like, okay, I think they could be dangerous. Though, like again, surprise. Like, it sounds stupid. Yeah, Vegas. Like, oh, like, no, but like after the season they had, I think they're the one. They're the one that scares me.
I think not. I don't think they scare anyone, but I think the team for me. Not to go on, I don't think they're going to win the cup at all. But in terms of
he's going to steal my thunder,
a team that I think could be overlooked that really honestly maybe shouldn't be, Anaheim.
I knew he was going to say the fucking Ducks.
They really have nothing to lose. This is just gravy for them. They're talented, right? Leo Carlson, Cutter Gauthier, very talented players. I think Lucas Dostal, while he hasn't been the most consistent, on his night can actually be pretty damn good. They're not a team that I think will win the cup, but they're a team that, because they're really playing with nothing to lose, they have the talent. Like they could surprise a little bit. So I think for me, that's why they're my pick. Again, not to win the cup, but I think to surprise. Like, I think Anaheim could maybe win a round. Maybe even two, depending.
I was going to say them too.
In the second round. But yeah, I think out of all those,
sucks because I was going to say them Pacific, too.
Anaheim's the one, yeah. Because LA's going to get annihilated in the first round. I just don't. They're too old. They're not going to be able to do it. Utah, I just don't think they quite are deep enough. And the goaltending again, Vizmelka, I kind of trust Dostal more than him. I think it's Anaheim for me.
That's who I'm picking too. Like, I look at these Ducks players, like Leo Carlson is one of the best young two-way centers in the
so
league.
Good. Oh my god, he's so fun to watch too. Oh my god,
Beckett Sinecki is probably
awesome.
Second or third best rookie, depending on who you ask in this year's class. Him or Demidov, take your pick. Both of them have been.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really is. It's just kind of take it because they're both right there. Like,
I mean, you got some veteran leadership, and Alex Killorn, he's won with the Lightning before. Troy Terry finally got a hit, gentlemen. I don't know if any of you guys noticed.
Yeah, I think he finished the season with 2. I think.
Yeah, he got them both in the same game. Funny little thing.
Obviously, I know you don't like mentioning him, but Kutagochi, 38 or 39 goals on the season, could hit 40.
Who?
No, I know you hate him, but you can't deny he's a hell of a goal scorer and a hell of a power forward. Like,
I don't know who that is. Phenomenal. Never heard of her.
Plus, Jacob Trouba's on the team, so if he wanted to, he could just turn himself into a missile and try to murder somebody, like he did last year. So I don't know. But,
for me,
obviously Radko Gudas isn't shy to hit somebody in the head.
I look at the Ducks, some of the other players in the Ducks too. They added Mikkel Granlund. That was a guy they added at the deadline.
Better than that. I like that one a lot.
Is Chris Kreider going to be back for the playoffs? Because I know he's dinged up right now.
Not sure.
He had a decent year this year. So Mason McTavish, people were pointing at the issues with him, like if he was going to be healthy enough not healthy enough, but really find a slot in this team. Like, he got healthy scratched, but he's kind of found his game again. He might be in the trade rumors next year, but still not bad to have on your third line. Is a guy like him. He's a former 20-plus goal scorer. Ryan Poehling, who I loved here, and I would never say a bad thing about because he plays for his crest every night. And he is a low-key, very underrated bottom 6 guy. Very quick player, good in transition, good PK guy. So I look at the Ducks. They get a lot of young offensive firepower. That Gauthier guy, 40 goals. He's pretty good too, obviously, as much as I hate him. And then on defense, like, they've got some threatening guys out there. We talk about Trouba and Gudas, the Goon Squad right there. Like, both those guys play on the edge.
Yeah.
You have a top pairing defenseman, Jackson Lacombe. Like, he's good. You added John Carlson at the deadline. He's got a lot of playoff experience. He's won a cup before. There's your veteran leadership. So there's a lot of talent on this Ducks team. I think they could win a round too. I agree with you, Nordy. I think I could, if it's Ducks Oilers.
That's what I'm saying, right? And if Draisaitl, depending on how much time he misses, like McDavid can only do so much by himself, and I just think the Oilers team with really McDavid driving everything and no Draisaitl. Yes, you got Nuge, you got Bouchard, but like you're going through. You look at the Anaheim team. There's more depth there, man. Right?
I agree with that.
They're a younger team. They're going to be a fast team. And again, they're playing with nothing to lose. This is gravy for them where they're at. You know what I mean? Kind of in their rebuild. So this is just kind of whatever happens, happens. And those are scary teams to play in the playoffs.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you guys are right with Anaheim. As in regards to, I think it depends on who they play in the first round.
Right.
Because my big issue with Anaheim also is going into the playoffs. They're on a bit of a skid. And this team bleeds goals. They bleed goals. So they're one of the going into the playoffs with a minus goal differential. They're not the only one in the West. I think there's two in. But anyway, just to say, so that's why I think it really with Anaheim, it really comes down to who they play in the first round. Like if it is Edmonton, I could see that whole series just being a shootout. Like we're talking about.
Oh
like
yeah,
7,
we could be
6
seeing like
games,
6-5, like
Yeah.
7-6, like games like that for sure. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And and I think
Absolutely.
in a case like that, I think Anaheim has an advantage just because I think they're deeper than Edmonton is, especially with Draisaitl hurt.
Mhm.
And so I think they could take advantage. But if Anaheim would have to play someone that's a little more that has good goaltending, a little more defensive structure, then I'm really, really kind of like I'd be worried about Anaheim. Because like honestly, I think we're sleeping a little bit on Utah. Just because like if you look at like their goals against, like they're third in the out of all the playoff teams behind Colorado and Dallas, they're right there with only 235 goals allowed, and they can score. Like I think they're still a bit young, they're still a bit inexperienced, so I don't think it ends up working out for Utah. But like I don't know, we'll see. But I still But I don't know, Anaheim. Oh man, that team just bleeds goals.
I just hate Gauthier.
Yeah, but
All right, gentlemen, before we wrap things up and call it an episode, we got a little bit of breaking news. The Chicago Blackhawks have extended
Saw that
Tyler
earlier.
Davidson to a multi-year contract extension.
I was thinking about hitting the button myself.
I don't know how I feel about that. I
He's
don't
been
know
okay.
how I'd feel about that.
He's been fine. Like
He's
I
been-
wouldn't say he's been great, but
He hasn't been bad. He's been underwhelming, I think is a better word.
I think that's a good way to put it. Because I feel like, because I mean, if we're being honest, right? We look at the teams that are coming out of the rebuilds right now, right? Like you look at a team, obviously Montreal, Anaheim's
The
about
Sharks.
to get there. The Sharks. I mean, Chicago's
Sharks are
not
kind of
for all
rebuild.
those teams, and they're still a ways away. I think. Like
The Blackhawks took a step this year, but you had a team like the Sharks that took a leap. You have a team like Montreal who took a few leaps. You have a team like Anaheim
Absolutely.
who took a leap.
right.
The Sharks took a step. Now, I want to see now what they're like. Connor Bedard has a legit line mate now in Anton Frindell. Let's see a full year of those two together. They need to get some talent. It is time for Chicago to take the next step of their rebuild. I need to see Chicago competing for a playoff spot next year. I'm not saying necessarily need to get in, but they need
Right,
to
but
be.
you need to
over
be
it.
there kind of near the like play meaningful hockey in March. Right,
Exactly. They need to be competing. They need to be what the Sharks were this year. Long story short, that's when I want to see the Blackhawks next year. So, again, not going to shit on Davidson. They are worst GMs in the league. I can easily name 3. Treveling before he was fired. Scotty Bowman. Fucking the disgrace known as Drury out
Dan
in New York.
Bowman.
Stan. Yeah, I was gonna say Stan Bowman, not Scotty.
Dan
Stan.
Bowman. Scotty
Stan
Bowman's
Bowman,
the greatest
sorry.
head coach
He's
of all
so
time.
bad he doesn't deserve that.
Like, let's be real.
But Bowman, Drury, Treveling, there's 3 worse than him for sure. But
Chuck
he's
Fletcher.
kind of just been under. Has been a good way.
Next Leafs GM, Chuck Fletcher.
Oh my God, please.
I fucking can't wait till when
Please
they
let
name him
that
GM.
happen.
Oh my god, what a laugh.
All right, Eric,
Oh,
you
no.
want to take us out?
Yeah. So so that's it for us. That was the Eastern Conference playoff breakdown. A little bit on the West, since couldn't really break it down more than that without knowing the matchup. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you had fun. Please like, subscribe, help us out. Drive to 500. We're how many are we now, Alex? We're
116. We're at 384 as we record this. We're getting almost at 4.
We're getting there. We're getting there slowly. So yeah, help us out. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell somebody. I don't know. Who cares? Just do
Eric
something.
said he will hug you if you sub.
Yes, free hugs. Free hugs. Just show me like YouTube, subscribe. You get a hug. Okay. Just let me know. I'll show up. Don't worry about it. So yeah. So for everybody here, for for myself, Alex, and Matt, good evening. Enjoy. Great hockey. Let's go. Playoffs are coming. Let's go. Best time of the year.
We're back, baby.
Absolutely.
Promise that you'll kiss me.